Well, hey, good evening, beautiful people. It's yours truly, Tammy B, coming to you with another session of Real Talk with Tammy B and Company, the show where we are recording live so that you amazing people can engage in our conversation. Now, let me say this via the YouTube chat. So if you are watching via another platform and want to interact with us, you got to jump over to YouTube at thassawoman, ThassaWoman, so that you can engage. And if you are on YouTube, please, sir, please, ma'am, feel free to interact with us throughout the conversation because we would love to hear from you. And I also like to ask if you are not part of our community to please support us by subscribing as we are here weekly at 7:30 p.m. Eastern with new content. And if you enjoy the conversation, please support us by clicking the like button and or sharing it with others. Also, to the men, yes, to the men. Listen, Saturday, August 1st, in the ATL. It is going down. We are having the pause, breathe. Bro, you matter. This is a transformational conference that is taking place for the men. Yes, the men. We are creating a safe space for you all to come together, hear from some dynamic speakers about their life story, and creating a space for you to feel comfortable to open up and talk about yours. So, Saturday, August 1st at Studio House Atlanta, the tickets are on Eventbrite. Now, we also have virtual tickets. So, if you want to watch from the comfort of your home, you can do so as well. And to the ladies, listen, the space in person is for the men only because we want them to feel comfortable having these conversations. So, if you want to hear what they have to say, and I highly recommend that you do, you can get a ticket to get virtual access as well. But in person is men only. All right. All right, so listen, as always, I am so grateful for you amazing people being here with us. And I know my co hosts have some little technical difficulties, so they will probably pop in at any moment. But in the meantime, the show will go on. So I'm excited because I have special guest Janelle Dossie with us. Good evening, Janelle.
Good evening. How are you?
Amazing. How are you, beautiful?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm excited because, girl, let me tell you, therapy is one, it is now becoming mainstream, but slowly, and I just feel people do a lot of finger pointing,
Mhm.
but first person they need to focus on is self, right? And then have that conversation. So I'm excited to have this conversation with you because I have some questions that I feel is going to add value to the
Mhm.
lives of the listeners. So welcome and thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. I'm excited
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
So, guys, let me tell you all, Janelle and I met. So time, first of all, is going by really fast because I
Mhm.
really want to say, I think it was like February we met, but
Yeah,
I
it was a
keep
while ago.
telling people like I am so far booked out, which is a great problem to have.
Right.
But Janelle and I met some months back at a tea party.
Mhm.
And when she told me that she was a couples therapist, I was like, "Who?" I was like, oh, girl, I need to have you on Real Talk. Okay. So I'm so excited that you accepted the call. And let me tell the people a little bit about you.
Okay.
So, Janelle is a licensed marriage and family therapist. She is a speaker, author, and founder and CEO of Symmetrically, a relational wellness company dedicated to helping people build healthier relationships through therapy, education, as well as research. She is also the creator of the Relationship Life Cycle TM framework, which is an emerging developmental theory that explains how relationships evolve over time and serves as the foundational for her clinical, educational, and organizational work. Janelle, oh, excuse me, I got a little tickle here, is passionate about advancing relational wellness by equipping individuals, couples, professionals, and organizations with practical tools to build stronger, healthier relationships. So, good evening again and welcome, Janelle.
Yay. Thank you again for having me.
We are so happy to have you. We are happy to have you. And then I see my man, Mr. Shelly Sims, just popped in. Good evening, Shelly.
Hello, ladies. Hello.
Hi, Shelly.
Hey,
Nice to meet
Hello,
you.
hello, female.
Shells.
Definitely.
Shells. What's good with you, my love?
Man, I've been working lately. I've been working.
Okay, that's a good thing. Because I think the
I
other
know.
week you said, yeah, rest when you done got bag. So you get in the bag.
Hey, I'm looking at it. It look close, but if I look close, it seem a little far. But as long as I can see it, I'm all right.
There it is. That vision
Yeah.
in sight. That vision in
Yeah.
sight. Yes. And Janelle, what's good with you, my dear?
Working, I guess, similar to Shelly. I got a vision in mind, and so I'm just trying to keep my mind on the visions until I get there. Well, I'll get there and then I'll keep going. So there's never a finish line. It's just, once you reach your dreams, now it's reality. And I'm just gonna keep aiming for the top. So I just been working.
And that is so important that you say that and that people understand. We are always in a state of becoming, right? People strive for perfection, and it's not about perfection, it's about becoming the better version, becoming the person that's reaching your goals, reaching your dreams, like keeping those visions and dreams alive.
Yes, exactly.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so Shells, Maya is stuck in I think an accident or something, so she's gonna get here when she can. So, but like I said, we're going to keep moving. So let me jump into our mental health tip of the day, which the tip of today is practice present moment awareness. And it's interesting that you know, came across this because last week, everyone, the consensus on our Wisdom Wednesday conversation, stay present in the moment, spend time with yourself, be still, know that I am God. Just you, it's time to be present. And I feel life is so full of distractions, but with so much coming at us at once, focusing on the here and now can make life feel more manageable. There is a doctor who says when everything feels super overwhelming, when everything feels larger than life, let's make our world a little bit smaller for that moment in time. She suggests taking things one day or even 1 hour at a time. And I'm going to add, you may even have to go minute by minute. So ask yourself, what's my next right action? Release the need to know how everything is going to turn out and liberate yourself from having to handle everything right now. Let the future take care of itself and just focus on the current moment, not the next one. Well, I'm sorry, then the next one. So definitely stay present in the moment. I said it last week. You are creating your reality from your now moment. So it's so important. And when you focus on the future, you create so much anxiety. And it's really time to just bring your energy and your power back. I don't know why my nose is tickling, y'all. So look, let me drink some water here because I don't know where this just came from. And I don't think it's allergy season yet. But Janelle, so let me tell you, I tell the people all the time, one of the niche for Real Talk while I record live, right?
Mm-hmm.
I show craziness will happen, mistakes will happen, but in life, when that does, you keep moving,
Right.
right? So I could, so in the live, you don't get the do over, right? And a
Right.
lot of times when things happen, people will like, oh, they get stuck and they keep focusing. No, So y'all see, I just had my water,
Mm-hmm.
explain to you, Manish,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm jumping back in. Okay.
Gotcha.
And it's that's the message. Just keep moving.
Yeah.
Life is gonna throw things, curveballs, things are gonna happen. 23rd Psalm say, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. But what it also says is I'm walking. It's
Mm-hmm.
so important not to stop. And it's
Mm-hmm.
important to keep going. So yeah. So yes. All right. So, and also, so what I like to do, because I just find it so fun and so quirky, and I like to be corny.
Mm-hmm.
Every day has a food day. And so today, the National Food Day, and there's a calendar with all this information on it. That's how I have it. So today is actually National Blueberry Day,
Mm-hmm.
as well as National Chocolate with Almonds Day.
No. I like me some chocolate now.
Girl,
Do we get
girl,
some
you
free
know,
chocolate with almonds? If I go to the store and say, so I heard it's chocolate and almonds day, y'all giving
you
this away
know,
for free?
I think there should be. You know how like Krispy Kreme give a free donut on your
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donut,
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Donut Day. I
Uh-huh.
I know. I feel even if you give out that little small, them little Halloween little small.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I love. Look, we need to put that to them. Like, yes,
Right,
on these
right.
days, we need you to keep over these calendars and give these little free items out.
Exactly, exactly.
Yes, yes. But it's another day that I found to be very interesting too.
Hmm.
It is also body painting day.
Oh, very interesting. Hmm.
Very, and I'm telling you, they quirky, but it's cool to just like, oh, okay. So
Hmm.
let me tell you the behind it. So apparently, this is a annual public art event which was founded in 2014 by an artist by the name of Andy Golub, where dozens of artists painted on fully nude models of all shapes and sizes in full public view.
Mm.
Yeah, and the core and the origin, the event produced by the nonprofit organization Human Connection Arts, it was designed to promote body acceptance, human connection, and free artistic expression.
Mm.
So, but girl, isn't that cool? And I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, I like that
yeah.
artsy. And so, and the idea was by staging the event in major public squares, organizers sought to remove the stigma and the shame associated with with the human body.
Wow.
I love
Very
that.
interesting. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like it does. Yeah,
Yeah.
express yourself.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so that was what the two little facts for today. Okay, so now every week I like to start with a question. This is to kind of break the ice and get the little wheel spinning. And they can be very. I can come up with some very outlandish stuff at times, and so sometimes are easier than others. So, but this one here is kind of like a little fun one. Let's see what you think. So,
Okay.
to you guys and to the chat, if you are in position, you're welcome to write your answer in the chat. All right. How old would you be if you didn't know how old you are? How old would you be if you did not know how old you are?
That's a very interesting.
Use your
Hmm.
imagination. Is Think about it. How do you feel? How
I'm gonna say it would have to depend on if you went off how you feel or how you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with 30. 30, I feel like was a really good age for me. Still young and youthful. I mean, not to say that I'm not right now, but
right.
but you know, I think 30 was for me was a good age. Yeah, I think maybe that's the one I'm gonna go with. I'm not gonna go too young because it's, you know, a lot of things that you can't do when you're young, you know. And I don't want to go too old because it's also certain things you can't do when you get too old. So I want to have my body that's able to move and do all types of things without worrying about, you know, pulling a muscle, you know. I think that's what I'm gonna go with.
I like it. I like it. Yes. What you got, Shells?
I would just say, I think mentally, no, if I had to go off physically how I felt, I would probably say I'm in my mid to late 30s. But if I had to go off the way my brain be acting, I'm still a good 25. You can't tell me I am, my brain swear I could do everything I used to. I'm still capable, so,
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's what makes the question fun, because you're like, I know my mind think one thing, but now my body, that's a whole nother story there. So yeah, because you can't tell me I'm not in my 30-ish. Okay, so for me though,
yeah,
I might have topped all y'all, but I also had a little bit more time to think about it. So for me, I would say 40. Because it is when I really started learning and liking me. That's where it, because up until then I had a challenging life, and 40 is when I started hitting the okay, it's time to start questioning some things when things were starting to be revealed. And then in 2015, when I had my near death experience, and I started seeing life through a different lens. So, but in my mind, 40 is the new 30.
You're right.
So yeah, for me, I know a lot of women like to stay 29 forever, but I like the 30s. But for me, 40 is the new. So yeah. All right. I love this. I love this. All right. So I got a video, and then we're going to dive into our topic tonight. So I want and I specifically pulled this for you, Janelle. I was gonna play it for the men, but since I do have so the third Wednesday of the month, which is next week, I have a men's only conversation, and I was going to save it for them. But since I do at least have Shelly here, and then you're a couple therapist, I really wanted your feedback on this as well. So let me share my screen. All right, here we go.
I want to do everything with my woman. Yes, I got a couple guy friends. They also know not to call me to go nowhere. I want to go with my woman. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I had way more fun with my woman. I never in my life ever been on a guy trip before. Never. I just can't do it without her. I'm not leaving my road dog at home. A group of guys was on the internet talking about how they don't want to do manly things with their women. They really do manly things with men. Boy, me and I do it all together. If I'm finna build a kitchen table from scratch, she right there helping me. The best feeling in the world is when your woman helping you. Imagine y'all at home, right? You went and got one of them beds from IKEA. You know they come with 100 parts. Then your woman help you build it. You look over there, she got her moo on with nothing on under there. Ooh, nigga, what instruction? Ain't no work finna get did right now. We finna go on break. And you know how women, they like to tease you, they like to bend over and y'all know exactly what I mean. Me and mine, we going to the gun range together. We building houses together. We gonna build business together. We going to the gun range together. You gonna help me lift some shit together. We taking trips together. If I ever decide to go to the club, she going with me. I can't breathe without her. She can't breathe without me, and that's the way I like it. I don't want it no other way. You think I want to go somewhere with a bunch of dudes? Kudos to the one that do that. I don't get tired of my little shit. I know a lot of y'all men get burnt out, be ready to go out, hang out with your guy friends and all that at home because you feel overstimulated. That's not me right there, dog. Boy, I would sit right there on side the bed just to watch her get ready, just to her ass up. The hell y'all talking about? And this is how you know if a person ain't happy at home. They don't never want to be at home. Why? Because they don't like their partner. I'm the type of man that'll tell my woman to put a light bulb up in the ceiling just so I can put my face on her ass. And you think I want to be around some niggas? I want to do everything.
Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first?
I'll let Shelly go first since he was the last to get here.
Okay, I'll accept. I agree with him 1,000%. Yeah. I think a man should always want to be with his woman if she cool though. But just contrary to that, there is a day or two I might want to be with my boys. But me and my crew, whenever we leave town, it's always, I'm taking my chick. Now we might venture off on our own a day or two, but yeah, we like being, well, in Colorado, let me say that, we like being with ours. So I agree with that. But you do need a break.
Okay, but he said, I can't breathe without her.
I agree.
That's alarming to me.
Why? I think that's alarming today because of today's culture, and women are all this independent and all that stuff. I don't think that's alarming. That's what love is. You shouldn't be able to breathe without your woman or your man. That's your partner. That's your other half. But it shouldn't be where when you aren't with them now it gets insecure and issues. That's what makes it bad. But when it's just I miss my baby and I ain't seen her all day or she out of town on a business trip, and you can't breathe without her. My woman better do everything for me around this house. So when she gone, I'm gonna be like, dang. Yeah. My opinion, but if I was in a relationship, that's how I want it to be. Yes, 100%.
Okay, Janelle, you the couples therapist. I
want to hear her
before I add my little 2 cents to it. I want to hear what you have to say.
So in terms of what he said, comparing the friendships, essentially, I would rather be with my woman than I am with a bunch of men. And that part I do understand because you should want your spouse to be your best friend that you can enjoy and spend time with. So a part of my brain is thinking, okay, well, I know a lot of men do talk about how they can't stand their old lady and this, that, and the third, and they don't want to be with them. And so part of me is thinking, okay, maybe that's where this video was coming from. Maybe that's why he was inspired to do it. But to your point, when he did say the whole I can't breathe without her, I was kind of like, okay, that's also a little interesting as well, because there still has to be a level of independence in a relationship. So what I tell couples is you want to have a level of independence while being interdependent. And a lot of times what happens to some couples, not all of them, is that they get so infused and meshed together that it is like they can't be apart from each other, which is not healthy either. So I can see for you, Tammy, where it's like, that's a little bit alarming because y'all are suffocating each other. Like, what's going on here? But I'm also wondering if the intent was because I know how a lot of men tend to, if they don't really like their wives, tend to be like, I'd rather be with my homeboys than hang out with my old lady.
Okay. Yeah. I like both of I like that perspective as well. So the first thing that I thought about was in Vogue's song when she talked about it from a woman's perspective, when she's like, my first mistake was I had to have him morning, noon, and night. So in my mind, I'm like, that becomes smothering, and then the people don't have their separate identities,
right?
And then there's not that time to get that absence make the heart grow fonder type thing where you can appreciate, because if you're always up under a person, then when do you get to breathe? When do you because I feel everybody should have some me time. I just that I don't care. But that's not to say that you don't want to be with your partner, because you do. But I feel you put some extra energy into it when you like, okay, baby, we done separate. We done went, I done hung out with the girls for a little bit. You done hung out. Now, that give you ideas, all kind of crazy stuff. Fun stuff. So I just think if you're up under a person all the time, but my thoughts.
See, I took it as though like you do have your separate lives. So of course she's doing her thing, work, friends, whatever, he's doing his. But you still want to be like I want to be. I don't think people. I don't understand how someone's under someone 24/7. Like, why don't you have something else to do where you don't miss each other? Like something's wrong if you, like you said, you have nothing to do. Even if you're a stay-at-home mom, there's still plenty to do around the house. So I think couples like that always get their time apart. They just miss each other. Yeah, but I would be miserable if a woman was, every time I look up, she had nothing to do and she was right here. Like, dude,
Well,
what,
see,
like,
Cheryl,
go read a book or something. Go do something.
Okay, so see, you just hit where I took that video, right? That's how I translated it. I translated it like he doesn't really, unless he's doing it for the gram, they do extra for the gram, right? So to me, that's saying all the time.
Yeah.
But also to me, that yells insecurity.
Y'all women love that insecurity thing. Men don't be insecure. Sometimes they just want men. Now, boys and ninjas, men. He just want to be around his, and we don't be insecure. We be protective. There's a difference. Insecure is when you think she's doing something, so you want to be around her. That's insecure, not I just like her or she like me and we want to be with each other. Because even if, like with that video, they ran the business together, I would hope throughout the day he got to go make a run for the business and she got to stay and do this, or vice versa. Like, it's only a problem if we have a whole business to run, a whole house to run, but we got to do every individual chore in business and house together. Like, that's when it becomes a problem. But let me make that clear. So
if we don't know that missing piece, because I see it, and don't get me wrong, Shell, I do, I would, want to be in that space, whereas, I have access all the time, but I still know that I would not want to have access. Right. I wouldn't want to be up under a person all day, and I wouldn't want them to be up under me all day. And that's the impression that I am getting from what he's saying. But without,
that's what he sounded like. And I know you ain't gonna like it, but you could tell he's a beta man, so that's the stance they like. Not in a bad sense. Like I tell everybody, beta men and alpha men, there's a difference. Beta men can still fight and do what they want to do, but it's just a different mentality. So,
Janelle, you got anything to say now? I'm sorry with Shirley on this beta thing at this moment.
Yeah. No, I mean, to your point, Tammy, though, about the insecure part of things, there are some men, maybe they beta, I don't really know, I don't get into those type of labels, but where they have this insecurity or anxiety that makes them worry if their wife or girl is not near them, and they start to get a little bit anxious. And so the way that they calm down their anxiety or insecurity is to always have the girl around them. But the moment that she's away, and this happens for girls as well, blowing up the phone, nagging, trying to figure out where you at, what you're doing. And it could be, due to some things from the past and stuff like that. But men like that do tend to be a little bit more controlling, which can be disguised as alpha, which I don't think it is. But to me, I just look at what are the behaviors in a relationship, is there any insecurity? Because like I said, controlling men have some insecurities as well.
I agree. I agree, but like that video didn't really show the dynamics of relationships. So
for sure,
like you said, we don't know if in the past she was cheating or he was cheating, so now he's like, I need to be with her, or you know, a lot of
Or
times if a
if
man
he possibly experienced abandonment early on in
that,
life.
or but man, if we know a woman was easy for me to get, and I happen to spend too much time with her and fall for her, of course I'm gonna be wondering. Like, she wasn't hard to crack, so I probably am gonna be wondering where.
Right.
Well, I see. Good evening, Queen Sylvia. So Miss Sylvia Standback put in the chat, freedom is key in a relationship. Absolutely. Yeah, so okay. I figured that it would be a little good, but it would be good to know more of the story. But of course, they only gonna give you what they want to give you. But um, I just still feel like I said, in Vogue song, first thing popped in my head. Everybody need their space, and then you want to come together and be booed up and all that good stuff. But you still gotta have your own identity. Because okay, let me add what you say, Janelle.
I said absolutely. You got to have your
Yeah, because you know what? That's what happens when people get out of relationships or their children leave home. Their identity was embedded in their partner or their children. So then now you have people in their 40s and 50s and 60s trying to figure out who they are.
Yep.
And that's something they should have been working on the whole time.
Yep. Because people don't realize that you're still you at the end of the day. Whether you're with somebody or not, you're still you. And so when you're in a dynamic of a relationship, like I said earlier, you still want to practice independence. You still have your life journey. You still have, whatever dreams, goals, visions that God gave you. It doesn't necessarily mean that your partner has to pursue those exact same things, because God gave them their vision, their purpose, their meaning as well. And then together, there may be purpose and meaning and vision in y'all's relationship. So it's like 3 different routes going on at the same time. And sometimes people lose vision, lose sight of what is meant for them versus what is meant for the couple. So yeah, you got to still maintain your identity. Who is Tammy? Who is Shelly? Who is Janelle?
Yeah, I say that all the time. I even tell my daughter, I'm like, you have your life, he has his life, and when y'all together, you guys have your life. You still both, like, you still got to do you. And that's usually what the attraction is. I thought when you meet somebody, you like the way they live or the way they move, so you don't want them to change. A lot of people do want you to change, but then the minute you change, they don't like you anymore because that's not what they were attracted to in the beginning.
Right. We go back to that control word, because I want you to be who I want you to be instead of who you actually are.
And can I tell you, that becomes a whole red flag when a person wants you to change. That because just like you said a moment ago, your journey is your journey. Of course, there's some things that you may adjust if it's in your highest and best good. But when you get a person that wants you to, if you've never worn black hair and now all of a sudden they want you to wear black hair and then the most outlandish stuff, like you're trying to fit, they want you to fit an image that they have in their head.
Right.
And that's the.
Well, let me ask you, on the contrary to that, isn't that the purpose when and this is a question or more than anything, doesn't a woman leave the cleave, so doesn't a man meet her and vice versa and want you to become different in a lot of ways? Like the way I am when I'm single, Shelly, I can't be single Shelly in a relationship, so I have to change.
Right. And in that regard, yes, there should be a change in terms of how you function within the role of our relationship. So, of course, if you are single, you behave a particular way. But the moment that you decide to commit and invest in a relationship, that's a discussion in terms of like I said, that we, like, who are we? Right. We have to figure that piece out together, and what we choose, how we choose to show up, what we choose to represent. So yes, the role functioning absolutely would change, but who you are as a person shouldn't change. Like, your character shouldn't change. The outside, like you said, in terms of like, oh, I want you to wear black hair. you met me when I had brown. So, it's like, if you wanted me to change my physical appearance because of whatever reason, again, we're gonna throw that insecure word back out again. There's an insecurity there that you're trying to get me to change my outward appearance for your perception to others for whatever reason. That has nothing to do with me. Because if you met me one way and I'm still that same way, why are you trying to get me to change who I am?
Let me tell you why men have a problem with that. Because we'll say that, like, if I like a woman and like I'm anti-cardigan and she likes cardigan, I'm gonna put one on every blue moon for her. Or if she likes, I ain't got no hair if I had it. If she wanted it braided one day, I know she likes it, so I got to do what she likes. But when women go against that, or we don't want you to change the way you dress or whatever, the problem becomes for men that, okay, if you went to work and your boss told you how to dress and how not to wear your hair, you're going to kindly oblige for that. But if the man that's protecting you and providing for you and building with you wants you to do these things, now is controlling. So who has the most respect? That's how men look at it. Like, you respect over there way more than you respect me, because they work you and you'll do what they say, when they say, how they say. I love you, and it's a problem.
Okay, right. Because I've heard this like the submission thing in terms of like women not wanting to submit to their husbands, but they'll do it to their boss. I've heard that argument, right? And I understand the argument because of the dynamics essentially. And I understand, like, as a man, of course, it's like, well, I want my woman to, trust me and respect me and all those things, right? Now, my question is it being reciprocated on both ends? Because sometimes what happens with men is, I want you to do this for me, but if the woman says, what about me? Essentially, it's very one-sided in terms of the submission. So if we go with the submission word, if we go with what the Bible says, it's supposed to be a reciprocal process. To me, when it comes to men, what makes a woman lose her respect for her man? And sometimes it is they no longer admire them. They no longer look up to them. They get tired of the fact that they no longer initiate. And so it causes them to start losing respect. So you never want to lose the respect of your woman. It could be the way that they talk to them, communication. I've had a lot of women that are like, he never helps around the house, losing respect day by day. So when you come and say, hey, I want you to submit to me, she like, for what? I do everything around here. I feel like I'm the man. But if you put yourself in a position where your woman never have to feel like that, submission will never be a problem.
Okay.
Okay, well, I have a question for you in the chat, Janelle. What if you meet the person a little out of shape, but she was working out, and then stopped once y'all got serious? What would you say to that?
Well,
aside from it happens all the time,
right? Right. And that part I get too. Okay. If I met you at one weight, like, that'd be nice if, weight will fluctuate. Now, I think it really all depends on going back to communication. If she starts to, maybe that's a conversation you have to have. Like, me and my partner have had that conversation. What if I gain a little weight? Would you still love me? Yes, but I'm gonna also let you know if you gain a little weight, at the same time, because it is for both of us. I want you to look good and vice versa. So if you do start to gain a little weight, I will say something in a very loving way. Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we still both look good and we both are healthy. Now, if you guys never have that conversation, what happens in a lot of relationships is, I'm noticing this thing, but I don't want to say anything about it. And I don't want to cause an argument. I just want to keep the peace. So of course the conversation never happens. And so now you start to resent her for the weight that she's gained. Now you're treating her a particular way. Now the relationship is going south. So it's better to have these type of conversations in the beginning. So that way you kind of, you already know what it is when it gets brought up. That's my 2 cents.
Oh, that was good. Thank you for that question, Corporate T. Good evening. Yeah, no, but that is true. Like you, because that story is so familiar, right? Guys say that all that's like a huge complaint a lot of guys have. Like, oh, when I first met you, you was, this, and then, you got comfortable and now you that. And it's like, just like you just said, if we want them to stay healthy, and a lot of times people got to understand it's about also being healthy,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
where, when you taking care of yourself, you're being healthy, you're eating right, you're exercising, you're hydrating, you're doing things so that you can be healthy. And just like you said, so we can look good together. Because think about it, nobody don't want that. Oof, I know that y'all just gonna be so shallow. Nobody don't want nobody that nobody want to look at.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna say it for you. I think people have to get out of this what they feel it should be and live in reality. And reality is we live in a competitive market. So if you want to keep your man eyes on you, you have to compete with the standards of the day's market. And that's in any aspect, in work, in play, and in relationships. The same with a man. I got a few friends and I'd be like, you lucky you got a good woman, because trust me, she's looking around. she just love you enough to stick around, but that's only temporary. Like you have to, you know your mate's environment they're in, so you have to be competitive in that environment. There's some women and men that aren't out there like that, so they don't see that and they don't really care. But if you have a woman that's out in the forest working and stepping out every blue moon with her girls, you have to, she, you got to stay where she met you. And if you fall off, it's okay. If she real, like Janelle said, she had that friendly conversation. Hey, I used to do 20 sit-ups a day now. So it's the communication, but you have to know who your partner is and know what the expectations are, and you got to live up to them, men and women. There's no I shouldn't have to. You don't have to, and you'll lose them or her, or you'll lose her, whoever.
Yeah, and I love this conversation because I'm glad times have changed, right? Because oof, y'all it's real talk, and if I don't say stuff, I'm fake, but y'all know this is unfiltered and unscripted. Because back in the day, women couldn't was told don't wear makeup, don't do this. In other words, they would let themselves go, but then then be concerned about their husbands. And I'm talking about in the church. I'm talking about in the church, because you will see them old mothers. They they had it all covered up, but then their husbands looking at the ones that
Mm-hmm.
are showing. In other words, what I'm just saying is you really want to stay visibly pleasing to
Mm-hmm.
the eyes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let go to the traditions of oh, red lipstick would make you Jezebel. No, honey, you just putting on another side for your man.
Right.
Well, I think Megan the Stallion put it on her song, like, switch my wig, make him think you cheating. Okay,
Right.
you got to be able to do, keep it fun, keep it spicy. Let him like, oh, who I'm coming home to today, stuff like that. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So Janelle, first of all, I'm loving this conversation already.
Mm-hmm.
So before I think of, I asked some questions that I came up with. Talk to us. Tell us, how is it that you got into this profession? Tell us anything that you want us to know about the work that you're doing, the amazing work you're doing at that.
Gotcha. So I have been a therapist over 10 years. And I've always wanted to work with couples. That was just always something that was laid on my heart. I did get a little thrown off track at some point because I was originally studying psychology, and then I switched over to mass comm and actually graduated with mass communications degree. And then I was like, what am I doing with myself? Like, I want to work with, people. I want to work with couples. I want to work with families. And so I ended up finding out about my degree, which is family therapy. And so what I was noticing with a lot of couples I was working with, I was like, man, I don't really want to like work with people when they're towards the end of their relationship. So how can I be maybe have a better impact within the relationship space? And so I decided to go and become a matchmaker. So I got certified as a matchmaker, but then I didn't match anybody because I don't have a database, but I did do some date coaching in the in-between. And so from doing the date coaching, what I noticed was, okay, this is not necessarily the beginning. The beginning is actually heartbreak, because a lot of people who are in the dating market, the girls that I talk to, I'm like, y'all have so much issues from your previous relationships or your childhood. And so you're really walking around here with a lot of hurt. And so from there, instead of basically I figured out how I would want to be more impactful when it comes to relationship space by helping people through all phases of the relationship, which is what essentially the relationship life cycle is addressing people from the beginning to the end, because we're all on that spectrum in some capacity. Yep.
Good stuff. I'm sorry, I got distracted for a minute. And the reason I'm going to say this because Corporate T put in the chat, we can't be out here quoting Megan Thee Stallion, and I'm just trying to figure out the why. So please tell me why I cannot be quoting her. But to your point, okay, so I love that. So you started and ended up, and you know what? You said some pivotal words. The issues that individuals have, because that's what really I feel goes into these relationships that have struggles, right? Because there's issues, there's baggage. Look, another quote, Corporate T, Erykah Badu, when she talked about Corporate T said, because she has a terrible track record in relationships. Leave my girl alone. Leave my girl alone. but Erykah Badu said, bag lady, you gonna hurt your back carrying all those bags like that. And
right.
When you really think about that, that's what's happening, and just not ladies, right? Men as well take baggage from one relationship to another without stopping to do the self-assessment, not understanding I am the common denominator in all these failed relationships. So what is it about me that's creating this? Yes.
Exactly. So a lot of times, like you said, people bring their baggage. You hear a lot of people say, why does it seem like I keep ending up in the same situation? I keep dating the same type of person, because you haven't learned your lesson. That's really what it is. You haven't figured out what it is about you that's causing you to continue to pick this type of person. So for example, I had a client who would move very quickly in his dating life, very quickly. And then trying to figure out, why do I keep ending up with these crazy women? Well, if you moving in with her after 2 weeks, what do you expect? So if you continue to repeat these same patterns and you never do the self-reflection and understand, okay, maybe I don't need to move in. And why do I feel the need to move in with them so quickly? We're going to use the insecure word again, Shelly, but there is there is likely some level of insecurity. Okay, I found this person. I want to lock in close with them. And so I get so attached to them very quickly because I'm afraid of losing them. And I may never find nobody else like them. You might actually, I don't know. A lot of people have that mentality of like, I'm never going to find somebody like this again. And so I've had to explain to a lot of people, let's just slow this down. Right? Let's just take your time with this. And so that way you can actually really see who this person is. So I've had a couple of women who've taken their time, slowed things down, and have moved through that anxiety of, what if I lose this person? To then get to the other side and see, oh, they're not gone yet. I've been dating them for a while. Now I'm actually really learning them from a place of love instead of a place of fear. Yeah.
That one, because so I always like to quote this, right? Because what people fail to realize, what did Job say? That which I feared has come upon me.
Mhm.
And anytime you put energy into a situation, you increase the chance of manifesting it. And to the person that feels, oh, you just met somebody today and 2 weeks, every 2 weeks after getting to know them, a month after getting to know them, you got to move, you want to move in with them. That, and if that becomes your cycle, what you're failing to realize, all you're doing is creating that lust. You get caught up in that initial, what they say, honeymoon phase, and this, that, and the other. But it's time to slow down and get to know a person. But you know what? It goes back to also knowing yourself.
Right. Exactly. Yep. And that happens a lot too. I tell my clients all the time, that's that very thing that you're trying to avoid. All you're doing is delaying it. All you're doing is delaying it because it still ends up happening. So just go ahead and have that hard conversation, because when you put it off, it actually makes the conversation worse. So go ahead, tackle it now. It'll be much easier than you expect, because your very worst fear ends up becoming your reality at some point. So you're just delaying it.
But what would you say to the person that when they meet a person out the gate, right, and they treat it like a job interview? Oh, what do you do for a living? How much you make? Blah 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 blah. It's like, can you? Because that's a turnoff. But people don't understand that. Like, if you're meeting somebody and you really want to be able to have a conversation with them before you start drilling.
Right. And like you said, it becomes like an interrogation instead of you're getting to know me, instead of a conversation. So just because I'm checking things off of a list, that doesn't mean anything. I could give you all the right answers and we still not be a good fit, because you don't really know me. I could tell you whatever. I could tell you I do this, I do that, I make this much, it's my credit score. I could tell you all that just so I could get through this interview process. And you may, okay, well, this lines up with what I want, but then am I really who you want? Because I just gave you the right answer. So what I tell people is, like you said, it's a conversation. It's ultimately getting to know this person, and you want to see if their words actually match up with their actions. Like I said, anybody can talk all day long, but what are your actions? Do they align with what you're saying? So that's, to me, is what's more important. And that takes time. But if you're just going to interrogate me, of course it's a turnoff. I don't want to be with somebody that's going to go down a list of and check and make checks to see if I fit into your world or to your box. I'm not doing that. But it's, for some people in their minds, it's, well, I'm tired of going through the dating process and I just rather just cut through the BS and just figure this out. But are you really getting to know that person?
I think majority of those people aren't dating for like love and longevity. They're dating for security.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And so, of course, their main concern is, am I going to be all right? Or do you meet criteria I want in my life, and it's not I want a partner or love or companionship. I just want to be, or like I'm pretty sure as a doctor, the thing that have hurt me in the past, I want to make sure to avoid them first. And like you said, it's definitely a turnoff.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, having a conversation, it takes time to get to know a person. You can learn all these things eventually, but we can have our back and forth. But because I've heard people, to your point, Tammy, where it's like, okay, so what do you do? What's this? What's this? We're not having a conversation. I don't even get a chance to ask you what you do because you're too busy trying to go off this list. Again, what are we doing here? So that's just not how you get to know anybody in life.
Because what you do is not who you are.
Right.
Come on now, Shells.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm a whole different person at work in the streets versus what I am when I come home.
That is true, because like I am the most introverted extrovert that you know. Like, I am a social butterfly. I do be outside, but when I tell you, when I get home, give me the TV and my couch and some popcorn,
You
I
good.
am good. And when the day come and I'm in alignment with my partner, it's gonna be better. But in the meantime, I know how to keep my company. And that's what some people don't know how to do. That's what make them, Shelly, to your point, look for the security. They're trying to check off these boxes, thinking that this person is going to fulfill them and give them that security. But security really got to start with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, corporate T asks, so what are valid questions to ask in the beginning stage to cut out the fat?
So, you can ask questions about who this person is. So, I was actually just talking to one of my clients recently, and I told him to ask about how does this person handle conflict. It'll tell you a lot about a person. So if you ask them, how do they, when was the last time, first of all, when was the last time you had some conflict and how did you handle it? You learn a lot about that person. They may, oh, I responded with anger. Da, da, da. Do you want to be with somebody that's popping off just that fast? That's up to you if you want to do that. It tells you a lot about how that person communicates. It tells you a lot about how that person may react or overreact. You can learn a lot about a person from that question. You can tell if somebody is very passive and submissive and doesn't speak up for themselves from just asking that question alone. Of course, you can find out about what it is that they do, but when you think about long-term, what type of person do you want to be with ultimately? So for me, I would prefer to be with somebody, of course, that can provide the security, but my main thing is, are you honest? And the only way I can tell if you're honest is if your words and actions align. So I want to be with somebody who's honest, but that takes time to figure that out. And I also want to be with somebody who has emotional control. That's what I want a person. So what I tell people is make your own list. What do you want? Who lines up with your life? And you don't tell that person who you want or who you want them to be, because then they'll do that. They'll show up exactly like that. Oh, okay, you said you want this person. Okay, well, I'll show up that way for the next 3 months. And then once I get you in my little web, now you're stuck. So as long as you know what you want in terms of a partner, longevity, this is what I envision. From there, you can figure out your own type of questions to ask that person. But definitely I would ask about how does a person handle conflict, because that in itself will tell you a whole lot about a person. Sometimes, like I went on a date with this guy, and he was so proud to tell me how much he beat this man up and how he put him in his place. Oh, okay. No, thank you. But in his mind, I know in his mind he was thinking protection.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, I was thinking you have poor emotional control, and I can't go out in public with you if you're gonna pop off that fast. No, thank you. So yeah, you can learn a lot about, like I said, a person's communication style, how they handle conflict, from just asking, when was the last time you got into a situation? If it was last week, give me a little bit more context. What happened? You'll learn a lot.
Oh, that is good. That is good. Okay, good evening, a soldier's dream. Good evening, Queen. So she put in the chat, I seen a post yesterday that asks certain icebreakers on first dates can also give you answers. So yeah, I mean, hey, maybe Chat GPT can kind of give you an idea. Hey, it says, look,
Yeah,
use it.
it's questions out there for sure. Which are good getting to know questions for sure. You can go, like you said, go to ChatGPT. Go on. There's a ton of conversation starters that you can ask somebody. But like I said, yeah, you'll learn a lot about the person from that one question.
Okay, you know what? This is a good question too. If you better come on through, Court T. If someone answers all your questions perfectly, is that a red flag?
Um, I don't know, because that's why I say you got to give it some time to actually see if that is who they really are, if their words and their actions align. They may give all the right answers, and then you start to observe they are not the type of person that they described in the beginning. So it's not necessarily a red flag until you start to notice they're not who they really are.
I like that. Oh, and I like what you said earlier, and I had got excited because Shelly don't know I said it on here. I do not tell a person what I'm looking for in a man,
Yeah.
a partner. I do not tell them that, because then everything you just said, because then they gonna be around here trying to pretend to be that person. When, okay, but who are you? And then when the real them shows up,
Mm-hmm.
you don't even like them,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely, and that was definitely a good message to take, what you also said too. How do they handle conflict? Because I'm big on emotional intelligence. Like I say it all the time, an emotionally intelligent person is very sexy to me. So I like that. And as a matter of fact, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and he said to me, he was like, he will never date another person if they have not had therapy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that is actually a good
Mm-hmm.
that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I like that mindset. That
Yeah.
that is good.
Exactly. So it seems like he figured out for himself what he wants in a partner, and all you do is just go from your list. The person don't know what's on your list. They don't know if if these questions is good, bad, whatever. But I know what I want on my list, and based off of what and how you're answering it, and then like I said, and then I see it matching up. Oh, okay, that's how I know. But everybody wants different things, and so when it comes to like giving advice, sometimes it's hard because I don't know people individually. What works for this person may not work for this person, but what works for you is what's important. But you got to know you first to figure out what aligns with you. So everybody, some people can say, well, this works for me, this works for me. That's what compatibility is, to figure out is, just because you're good on paper does not mean that you're good for me. If our lifestyles don't match up, if our belief systems don't match up, if our values don't match up, you're not the person for me, but you might match up with somebody else. And that's the importance of knowing yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Incorporate that. If you can't learn to read verbal cues, you're doomed anyways. And Shelly, will you get ready to say something?
No, I'm just listening. I was just gonna take that back. I was gonna say, I think also, and this just depends on the stage of the relationships, or not day one. But you got to put people to the, not, I don't even want to use the word test, but if you know you like this and they say they like that, then let's see. Like, yeah, like if someone like my thing is cooking. I like a woman to cook. So if a woman says she's always cooking, I'm gonna be like, well, what are we going out to eat for? I thought you liked to cook.
Right.
So if it don't matter, it's, oh, well, in the beginning I got it. Like, yeah, this ain't your thing. Because if you like it, you're gonna do it.
You're right.
Ain't no timing to it. This is me. It's how I am. Everybody got their representative, but when it's real and you like someone, you usually try to keep the representative away because you genuinely like a person. So this is how you're supposed to be. Let me see you who you is from the gate.
Exactly. Yep.
Don't wait till you caught feelings and now I don't like you. Now I gotta leave you, and I'm the bad guy.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I was dating somebody, or not dating. I was talking to somebody, and they said, "So do you like to cook?" I said, "I really don't." Oh man, well, what if you was to get in a relationship and they wanted you to cook all the time? Well, they're not for me. That's just what it is. I don't like to do it. It's not fun to me. It's fun at times, but I'm not doing it every single day. And if a man wants me to do that, he's not the man for me. And so that's the part, to your point, when people they like somebody so much, they're afraid to lose them. And so they're going to just tell them what they want to hear. And that's how you get yourself in trouble, because now my expectation is, you said you like to cook. Why are you not cooking?
Yeah.
I feel you.
Could have said that in the beginning. We might have came to a conclusion or something like
Yeah.
that. Be honest, like what?
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, this is some good stuff here. They put in the crying, laughing faces in the chat. Exactly. Okay, so we kind of talked about individuals. So let me go ahead and start bringing this to the couples aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are the most common issues you see bringing couples into therapy today?
Infidelity, unfortunately. And not knowing how to communicate. Those are the biggest things. But in reality, what it always boils down to is their lack of understanding of each other. So I have to teach people what I call the 6-9 method. So if you envision a 6, you flip it upside down, it becomes a 9. Mm-hmm. Now, depending on which side you're standing on, you will argue down to death. No, this is a 6, and the other person's arguing, no, this is a 9. You're both right, but you're both wrong, depending on the angle that you're standing at. The choice that you have in a relationship is to be able to see the other person's perspective, which a lot of people don't want to do. A lot of people just want to be right. They want to fight for being right. Mm-hmm. But that's not the goal in a relationship. The goal is to understand each other. So I can see from your perspective why you say that's a 9. The angle in which you stand up, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, I can see from your perspective why that's a 6. It doesn't mean either of you guys are right or wrong, but there's an understanding there. So I have to teach people how to understand each other, because we all come from different worlds, from different backgrounds, from different situations. And if you don't understand that because that situation happened to me, this is the way that I am, this is the way that I respond to things, it's the way I see life, then we'll never get to a conclusion of how to navigate this issue or life together, because you don't get me.
That's good. The 6-9 is all about perspective.
It's all about perspective. Mm-hmm.
Understanding. That word came up a couple times last week as well. Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say I had a couple today, and it was a whole breakdown. It was he did this, and then he did this, and it did all this stuff. And I said, around this point right here was where the misunderstanding was, and y'all were both responding from what your level of understanding was about the situation. That's all that happened. If they understood each other, then what happened after that wouldn't have happened.
And then at that, so it almost sounds to me like at that point, the ego done kicked in so strong and so heavy that no one is listening. So it's almost like that's when a person needs to literally, what they say in a boxing ring, go back to your corner for a
right.
second. But emotions are so heightened and so tense that they don't want to do it. And what you said a moment ago, everybody wants to be right. And my aunt, one of her favorite quotes is, "Do you want to be right or make it right?"
Right.
So sometimes it's okay to stand down.
Yep, exactly.
Shelly, you wanted to add anything?
I'm just agreeing. This isn't fair to say. I've never understood what's so hard of understanding that like we both see things differently. We both, like you both. Go ahead.
So some people want you to agree with their logic. That's it. They just want you to understand this is where I'm coming from. Some people don't agree with your emotion. So they want to change how you feel. And so I'm trying to get you to change your thoughts on this thing, or I'm trying to get you to change. No, you shouldn't feel that way. But if you don't take the time to actually understand why it is that I feel this way. The reason why I felt disrespected is because most times you could point it back to somewhere in childhood. The reason why is because when I was this age, whatever, I experienced this. And so it triggers me sometimes when you do X, Y, and Z. But if you don't understand that about that person, you could just be poking the bear and not even knowing it.
Yeah. Listen, I I talk about childhood trauma all the time because people do not understand that dormant energy that's sitting in your subconscious mind waiting to surface. And it just takes is one thing, and it could be something so small, but it be done triggered, and then a person explodes. That's why it's so important to do our spiritual work, our spiritual cleansing, um and to go ahead and face that childhood trauma. People think masking it and acting as though it did not happen is helping them, but in actuality it's sitting dormant waiting for the right time to pop out and show inwards. Okay, that's what it does. I threw a little humor in there, but that's really what it does. So it's so important, for these conversations. That's why I like what the gentleman said. He was like, I need to date a person who has had therapy, because we all have something that has happened to us. And what did we do to address it? And then going back to what we kind of pretty much said in this whole conversation, but then people go from relationship to relationship, looking for those relationships to help them, to fix them, and to make them happy, when in actuality the happiness starts with them. It's an inside job.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not the other person's responsibility to fix you. Sorry, go ahead, Shelly.
No, I was gonna say, so then let me ask you this. If that's the case, you never know if you healed or fixed or what a problem is until you meet the opposition to it. So I would think relationships are for you to heal, because they bring out the traumas you didn't know you had.
Well, what I tell people is that you're never fully healed with the hard ED. You're always healing. And so life is a journey. So you're right. Sometimes another person can potentially trigger something in you, but it is how you handle it. Conflict is going to happen in a relationship. That's just inevitable. But it's all about the repair.
Right.
If you don't repair, then it's only going to turn into resentment. And so if that person triggers something, you have to let me figure out, what is it within me? Why did that trigger me? So one thing I always got to teach people is what's called I statements. So this is how I feel or I think. What we tend to do in relationships a lot of times is you did this to me. You always da 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 da. And it's like, no, I feel this particular way. Not you made me feel. It's I feel this way. Whenever you try to put that on another person, what I tell my couples is that person's they're going to argue against it every single time. If you say, well, you always did it, the other person's going to be like, no, I don't. Now we're arguing about that. But if I say this is how I feel, you can't argue with me. I mean, you can try, but you can't argue with me about how I feel or how I think. But guarantee, if you say you think you so funny, you think you so slick, you trying to da-da-da, that's not what it is. That's an assumption on your part. Now we arguing about that. Then nobody has time for that. So if you figure out, okay, that triggers something in me, why? Because what may trigger something in you may not trigger it in me. So you got to figure out, why did that trigger me?
And to add to what you're saying, or I think what Shelley was also talking about as well, I think it's also too about awareness. So when that situation, like you said, healing, it's like, okay, there's an awareness to this situation. So therefore, now that I am aware, how is it that I acted and responded to that in the past versus now? Because if you stay unaware, you just gonna keep popping off, and you gonna keep, beating people down, and disrespecting folks. When in actuality, if you have awareness, like, okay, this is the situation. How do I handle this in a more calmer state and a more mindful? Because I'm big on mindfulness. How am I mindful in this situation?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And that's the reason why I never add the heal part. Because when you feel like you heal, you kind of push it to the side and you don't think about it no more. But if you always have it top of mind, no, this is a journey I'm always healing. There's at some point, it could be 10 years from now, that might trigger me and I might, get a rise again. Yeah, it's a forever journey. But the moment that you take your mind off of it, that's when you're more likely to fall back into a dangerous situation.
Exactly. And that's why it's like we're always becoming. Said it
Yeah.
earlier. We're always becoming, always healing.
Yep.
It's not about reaching the end game. It's about living the life journey and enjoying it and creating and having fun with it. Okay,
Exactly.
this very, very, very good conversation. So let me ask you this question. What is the biggest misconception people have about healthy relationships?
That there would be no arguments. Like I said, every relationship is going to have conflict, but they, like I've talked to a couple people, I just want peace in my relationship. And I have to explain to people, I understand kind of what I said earlier. You're avoiding this conflict because you want peace so bad in your relationship that now there is no peace in your relationship. If you just go ahead and handle the conflict, because it's going to come, and figure it out together, you guys actually grow through that problem. That's the whole point of, there's a little bit of tension here. Let's figure this out by working together. But if you have no conflict in your relationship, somebody is not saying what is real. If we're being honest, words are being left unsaid. Like I said, a lot of times, I've encountered this many times. I don't want to rock the boat. I just want the peace. I get it. I go along to get along. That's not good. Because now you have unmet needs. You have unmet wants. Resentment is building. Things are being swept under the rug. Yeah. So conflict is okay in your relationship. It's just how, like I said earlier, how you repair it. Sooner than later, of course.
Absolutely. Okay, so to that point, I am listening to Iyanla Van Zant's Spiritual Hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
And she pretty much had this same similar conversation, just listen to it. And what people are not understanding is those unspoken words, they're storing in your body.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
your throat chakra is holding on because you're suppressing. And it you're doing yourself an injustice by not speaking your truth.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always a polite way, a right way to speak it, because the more you holding in those suppressed words, you're building up resentment. Just like you said, you're gonna be building up resentment, and it's just like you just adding fuel to a flame,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
eventually it explodes.
Yep.
And then you wonder why, because you were silencing your truth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And actually, I just feel that we're in a time where the truth needs to be spoken, because I feel we're here to heal our lineage, our present time, our ancestors in our present. Our future. That's what I feel that we're here to do, and that's also what she was kind of talking about in that book as well. So, okay, good stuff. Oh, now this one is an interesting question. This one. Whew. All right, I'm gonna take a deep breath before I ask this one.
Oh.
Can a relationship recover after infidelity or a major betrayal? What does that healing process typically look like?
Yes, it can. It just requires a lot of work that most people don't want to put in, if I'm being honest. So, it requires, unfortunately, especially in the beginning, because you have to repair trust. And what I say trust was earlier, words, actions align. Right now, once the trust is broken, I don't trust anything that you say. I don't trust anywhere that you're going. So I have to get the betrayer person has to get that person to trust them again. A lot of people don't want to share locations. They don't want to give their phones. They don't want to do all these things. But that's what can potentially help the person who felt betrayed, because they got to be able to see it, right? If you're telling me that you're not texting nobody, I got to see it. If you're telling me that you're going up the street to Publix, I need to see your location. A lot of people don't want to do that. And I agree. I wouldn't want to do that.
I was just thinking, I don't want to do that, but go ahead.
Yeah. So it takes a lot, but this is what it costs a relationship, is for somebody to constantly be on top of you. And a lot of people, they ain't got that dog in them. Understandably so. But some people are willing to say, okay, I get that's what it takes. If I have to show them this, because I get that's what it takes, they'll do it. And it takes time, because the person on the other end, you're doing this for 2-3 weeks. That means nothing. This goes on for months. I had a client over a year. It took, which I told them from the beginning, it was going to take a year. Anybody with infidelity, I tell them automatically, this is going to take about a year. If you serious about it, they don't want to do it. They come in there, oh, I want to repair my relationship. Okay, well, it's going to take about a year for this person to probably come around to starting to trust you again. It's going to take some time. Nah. In the beginning, oh yeah, I'm totally down. Then it becomes, yeah, because a lot of people, they don't want to do it. So the other cost that it does to your relationship in terms of intimacy, that can affect the person who was betrayed, especially if it was a woman, can affect her sexually. Her body is like, I don't want nothing to do with you. Okay, so it costs you there. When it comes to communication, that's all the way messed up as well. Because now I'm gonna be arguing with you constantly because I don't believe you. So it takes a lot. And like I said, a lot of people, they don't have that dog in them. So it is, at times, it is kind of better, because you just never know. Because a person in the back of their mind, how do I know it's not gonna happen again in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years? I don't know. That's why it's all like, it's a perpetual issue, or can become a perpetual issue, trying to come up with it. And so what ends up happening, people who do choose to stay together and they don't work at it, well, the woman shuts down emotionally. She done shut down sexually. What are we doing?
Yeah, and when she reaches that point, it's hard to check back in. Go ahead, Shelly.
I was just gonna say, like, I believe all that for women, and that's true. But I don't think there's no coming back for men.
And that's the true.
Flip side of the
coin. When most of the infidelity situations I have, unfortunately, it is men that are doing it, and women who are they're trying to figure it out. I had one guy, she cheated, he done. It don't take much. And I fully support that. I get it. I think a lot of women do give a lot of chances, or give one too many chances when it does come to infidelity. When, like I said, I think you should just cut that off and start over, because it really takes a lot to try to repair it. And like I said, it's not ever going to be fully repaired, because that small little bit of trust is still kind of like, I don't know. And what ends up happening, if that person does it again, the woman is really beating herself up because I gave you another chance.
Let me ask you this. Do you see, like, have you ever seen a relationship where a man never strayed? Have you ever seen that?
Yes. I mean, based off of what I know, but I have seen it where that wasn't an issue that came up in a relationship. And you can kind of, honestly, even just by their interaction, they seem madly in love. They was together about over 20 years, very close, maybe close to 30, but it's doable. But yeah, I've seen a few situations where, when I asked about infidelity, they said it hasn't come up.
See,
Shelly asked that question because Shelly say all men gonna cheat.
I'm gonna say this: I have never, not literally never, but over 80%. I've never seen anyone that's been together 10, 20 years where the woman has never had to deal with another woman. It might not be sexually, but I've never seen a relationship where a woman has never had to deal with another woman in some aspect. Contrary, 90+ relationships where a man where a woman has never cheated. Like women don't. It's not common for women. So it's just two different spectrums. So I don't think every man cheats physically. I just don't think there's a man out there that, if it's not a woman, he has a vice. If it's gambling, if it's video gaming, if it's drinking, if it's porn, he's a man mentally has to check out.
Okay, why does he need a vice though?
I'm just saying, majority of the time that's what it is. If he's never cheated on you with a woman, he's probably doing games or he's doing something to check out. And I just label that a vice. Vices aren't always bad.
Right. So most people have some form of coping, right? So when you say vice, it's kind of like a coping skill, right? Like you said, just to be able to take their mind off of life. Everybody needs an escape in some way. But if you choose to be in a relationship and your vice is women, don't be in a relationship. It's really just that simple. If you don't feel like you can commit and stick to one woman.
Okay, listen, I'm the most faithful man on the planet, so it doesn't apply to me. But I just don't believe that there's a man out there that has not strayed. It doesn't have to be to the extent of physical touch, but I don't think God made us that way. There's one or two species on the planet that are built that way, but nothing God has made is that way. So yes, I think men are smart enough and civilized enough to honor their word and be that. I myself in a relationship have been 100% faithful, so I know it's possible. But I don't think that's the design by nature, and it's not nowhere but in this country, maybe one or two England-led countries.
Okay, do you think women are designed to be faithful?
It's the fact they are.
What's the fact?
That you guys are, when you love one man, and that's usually it. It's hard for a woman to let a man, 2 or 3 men conquer her inside of her. And the ones that can do that are usually just modern women that have been taught be like men, knowing you're not men.
Okay.
So not saying you guys don't or can't, but for a woman, it's a huge step to let a man inside.
Yes.
For a man, it's no step. So that's why I say by nature is different. I'm not excusing any of the behavior. I think if you tell a woman you're going to be with her, you should honor that or be honest and be like, every blue moon I do my thing. But if you say that, you should be that. But I don't think genetically we're designed that way. No.
Do you think if women held men to a standard that they wouldn't do it?
Yes, if enough women did it, but I don't think enough women will do it because women require the protection and the company of a man more than they worry about who else is he doing this with. And you just look at any situation like if a man has children everywhere, if he has 1 or 2 children outside the relationship, he might not be having sex with that side of the family over there, but he's providing something over there. So she's going to share him regardless. Might not be sex, but he's going to make sure they're all right financially. Whatever the case may be, it could be protection. He has to, he's going to be somewhere else. Yeah. Yeah. So like I say, I think physically a man smashing different women, that's, at some age, and your word got to be worth something. But regardless, your man's going to be out doing something for some woman somewhere.
Gotcha.
I mean, do you disagree? Like if he has a child over here, if he has but see, that's because women don't want to hear it, but they know deep down inside it's just men. If my kid's mom, I don't never want to touch her, but I'm gonna make sure they straight. If the house she ain't got no man and the door's falling off, I'm gonna go over there and fix it. Or if she call and say somebody's bothering them, I'm gonna go over there and protect them. I don't ever want to be with her, but I am providing for that family, yes.
But Shelly, what does that have to do with being unfaithful?
But
Like
to me, my woman's not gonna go help her no other family do nothing. She's mine.
But Shelly, I just think that that's a man taking care of his responsibilities.
So with that being
he's trying to
said,
make sure his children are provided
right.
for.
So the point was that a woman's going to share him in some aspect regardless. A man doesn't have to share his woman in some aspect regardless. My woman has no need to be at no one else's house doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if she got a baby daddy,
but usually
she ain't
the
gonna go over there
children
and
are with the mother.
The who?
Usually the children are with the mother, so there's usually no reason for her.
Exactly. And even if the children are with the dad and he don't know how to cook, she's not gonna go over there and cook, and she's not gonna give him $30-$40 to order the kids some food. Or if something's broke down, she's not gonna do none of that. She probably doesn't want to, and it's not gonna happen. But for the man, it's you know, he's gonna be somewhere else.
I think I'm still having a hard time with the connection of that equating to infidelity.
Because
to me, that just sounds like a person taking care of their responsibilities.
And for women to make it feel better for them, they equate cheating to only sex. So of course it's, you know, well, he's not goosing over there. That's fine. But on the opposite side, my woman can't go to no man and do nothing except for her father and maybe her brother every blue moon. But so women aren't. There's two different standards in that. That's all I'm saying. If you have a man, Tammi, you're not gonna go to your kid's father's house and do anything over there.
Okay, so are we talking about sharing? Like a woman will always share a man, or a man will share women? I'm with Tammi.
I just think a woman will always have to share her man. Not always. There's no one shoe fits all. We just say majority. You're gonna share your man somewhere, not necessarily physically. In some aspect, you're gonna share him. A man is not gonna always share his woman. I think there's a huge difference.
Okay, why?
Because, like I just explained, there's nothing my woman needs to do for anybody else other than our family, unless it's her mother or father.
Okay, so there seems to be maybe a little bit of possessiveness.
I'm asking, what reason would you or any woman as a woman have to go somewhere else and do womanly things other than at your home?
Gotcha. I guess it depends on what you consider to be womanly things.
Okay, so give me one instance of what a woman would have to do at another man for another man.
So me and my kids, or kid, dad, all we do is parent.
Right.
So he ain't coming over my house to do anything.
Right.
Like, because I got a man, and
right.
I'm
if
going
you
over
did
to
it,
his house.
He would gladly make sure you was straight. Now him, if he didn't have a woman and you had a man, would you gladly make sure he's straight?
No, but I also can hire help. So it really all depends on your boundaries.
Yeah, that's different. You could hire someone, but you're not going to do it.
Right. But what I'm saying is,
your man now, if he has kids outside or whatever, and he's like, oh, I need to go do something, you might suggest him go hire someone, but you know, if he goes over there and picks his son up and he sees the fence is broke, he's probably going to fix it real quick.
Maybe.
Okay, maybe I'll accept that. If you go to your baby's father's house and
I
you
ain't
see
fixing nothing over there. Right.
over there, there's no maybe you're going to do something over there.
Right.
There's no maybe.
Correct.
For a man, maybe. So that's all I'm saying. It is different. And I think women ruin other women, because they tell other women there shouldn't be a difference. And there is a difference. We're not equal. We're equally important and we're equally valuable to one another, but we're not the same. A woman doesn't want a man as equally strong as her, equally smart as her, equally financially stable than her. You know, we have different roles. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. And I think when women be like, "Nope, you do what he do," that's we're lying to each other and we're causing nothing to be long term and everybody to be contractual situationships.
Gotcha. Okay.
Do you agree?
Well, I see your point, but I'm also with Tammy a little bit in terms of how we got here from infidelity. But I get the point of that, you know, having to potentially, if someone was in a man's past, how he may still have to show up for that person.
Mm-hmm.
And in some aspects, he feels like there is a level of responsibility maybe that he has for that other person. In my mind, it's not necessarily sharing that person, but I would understand, like, of course you want to make sure your kid's mom is good. I get that. But I agree with you also in terms of people have different ways of coping, and things like that. Although I don't agree if it's going to be another woman sexually or emotionally, that is absolutely inappropriate and goes against the guidelines within our relationship. But I wouldn't say that going to fix a fence is, you know, an emotional connection or anything like that. Yeah.
I agree with you, even in the form of having other women. If we agree to this, that's just what it is. I was just making the point that, well, the first point was, and you answered it, that most women forgive a man more times than probably should, but most men very rarely forgive a woman.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's the two differences. And
For
then
sure.
you had to, like you said, he might have to do something over another female's house, maybe, but you, on the other hand, will never be a maybe. You got to do something over another man's house. It's
right.
Different. So I'm just saying, my point was, there's differences.
Gotcha.
Yeah, not we're equal and we both do the same thing, because we can't. That was my only point. And I think women get caught up with, nope, he do it, I do it, and that's not true. It's never been true in your past. It's not gonna be true in your future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
And we all agree with that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Tammy don't.
I know. And I know she don't, because she, like, you know, in her heart she agrees. In her mind and feelings, bullshit is BS. And Tammy also quotes Megan Thee Stallion, so.
Tammy is a lyrics person. I am learning that because you have dropped a number of lyrics on us today. I said, "Oh, Tammy like music because you gave us
I don't drink.
and
I don't drink. I don't smoke. So music is my high.
Is your vice.
That's my vice. That's my vice. Yes, honey. I be in the club knowing all the words to the song. Girl, you know that. I don't drink.
And Tammy know if she get mad at her man, she go in the room and put them headphones on and vibe out. That's her vice.
Right.
That's it. That's it.
So I just said we all have our escape.
Yeah.
Some men abuse it, and it be too many other women.
Right. It's having a healthy vice.
Thank you.
Yes, because anything can turn unhealthy. Working out
or acceptable by both parties. Because there's a lot of women that don't care, or they care. They just like, I better not find out.
Yeah, that is. Also
I know you're a man, but if I find out you're a man, it's over.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah.
See, now you're in denial. That's a whole. That's the whole.
Even she said it straight. Betty Wright said it first. Having a piece of man is better than having no man.
And
at all.
who said she was right?
Okay,
that is, you know what? As a matter of fact, I quoted that in my book. I said Betty Wright said having a piece of man is better than having no man at all. And
but let me tell you why it's right. Because say you choose no man, right? You're like, if I can't have a good man, I don't want no man. Everything that goes wrong in your life, you're gonna call a man. The plumber, he's gonna come. The fireman, he's gonna come. The policeman, he's gonna come. The mechanic, he's gonna come. The service lawn people, he's gonna come. You're gonna call a man. So some women just prefer to call their man.
Shelly, how you keep making these connections from
I live in reality. I don't live in my feelings. I live in reality. Even with a woman, I know what she's gonna do, whether I feel is wrong or not. It's just her nature. She's gonna spaz out. She's gonna do this. That's just her.
For Shelly.
But am I wrong, Tam?
From a piece of man, which you generally Betty is talking about being in a relationship with a man that ain't 100% hers, to when you needing service calling a man, Shelly.
Because Betty,
if it was more women in the profession, we would probably call the women.
But it's not. That's the feeling. You're telling me your feelings. Betty knows, and this is Betty. This ain't everyone. She knows that at least I got peace with this man, so when I'm protected, I need something, I'll call my piece of man instead of calling a strange man.
That's not what she...
Yeah, that's what it is. It doesn't feel right. I know. It's cognitive dissonance. It doesn't feel right, but it's a fact.
No, I'm just...
And you're still going to go on dates. You're still going to let a man buy you dinner. You're still going to do all that. He's just not your man. When your man could have done it.
Okay, Janelle, I'm going to sit here and say I am cracking up at your facial expression.
That's why I keep going. I'm waiting on her to be like, Shelly, stop it. Or in my studies, I've learned, I'm waiting on
You know why? Because he talked like this all the time. And about a month or so, I had a therapist on, and she was like, Shelly, you need to pay for a session. In fact, she texted me the next day. She was like, was Shelly for real? She said some of her clients that was watching the show even went back to watch to see if Shelly was real.
And everyone's like, I don't want to admit it, but that's kind of the truth. It's not in every situation, but overall,
that's not my truth, so I don't have to admit
I know it's not. It's a lot of. I know it's not. A lot of women is not their truth, and that's fine. But deep down inside, or their past history has proven that's the truth.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, you got this, Cheryl.
And we said that earlier when she said when a woman's her problem is every man is cheated on her, every man is abusive. That's your truth in your past. That's your truth. Now, I'm not saying that there's not better at the other side of the road, but that's kind of your truth. So
I'm laughing at the chat. I'm laughing at the chat.
Or accept your truth and find you one you could deal with and work with it.
Okay, Shelly, we're gonna let you have this.
No, I'm saying you could change, like Janelle said, go through therapy, learn yourself, love yourself, heal yourself, and you'll have a different result. But if you keep going on the same behavior, you'll get the same results.
Absolutely, that's insanity.
You can accept reality, or you can change your reality through therapy.
Now I can agree with you. Now you said something I can work with.
And like she said, most women or men, they say they want to go through the hard stuff, but we're talking years of work. After 2-3 weeks, a month, they're like, yeah, I didn't know it was this. So they need to accept their reality that this is what they attract.
To that point, you're absolutely right. But that's kind of what we were talking about.
Yeah, I live in reality. I know what I'm not going to change, so I know what to expect from my behavior.
Shelly, listen, I was cracking up because Miss Mia, she said, yes, he is for real, and put the crying, laughing face. No, but let me go back because I do have a question for you. I have a couple comments, and so Corp T said, if a woman gets caught, she wanted to get caught, going back to when we was talking about the cheating part, and also added a man should be possessive over his lady.
And a woman, if she wants to get caught, it's because she wanted to. That's because men are not the same sexually. So we could smash you and not want to tell. A woman If she's the side piece, after a while, because it's not her role, she's going to get feelings and she's going to probably tell on him or tell her girlfriend, and he's going to get caught. That's why y'all don't get caught, because we don't have a connection. We don't care. We ain't telling no one about you. So, of course, there's no gossip to come around back to us and catch us.
No, I think what that person means, they mean women are really sneakier than men if they want to be. So therefore, y'all not good at it.
No, y'all been led to believe that you're not better at it. You just, men don't care to tell on you. We don't care to call your man, and we don't care to tell our friends, so the word gets out around town who we creeping with. You guys get
isn't that what look?
No, you guys get it emotionally evolved, so the side piece is always calling the girlfriend or leaving text or wanting to put a mark on your neck or leave perfume on your shirt because she is getting jealous. So of course we're getting caught, because the woman can't play the game because she's not designed to be that.
Okay, well, see, I have to disagree with you because, like, my understanding, look, I'm gonna use a celebrity as an example, like with Remy Ma and Papoose. My understanding is her side piece is the one that put their business out in the streets. Is how
there's always one. There's always one.
If it's one, it's like a roach, Shelly. If you see one roach in your house, there's more. Okay,
but overall, women are the ones that tell or call and spread the word or do. No man's like, yeah, I'll put some musk on so her dude will smell it. No dude is doing that. You guys are the ones that, yeah, I called her and let her know, or I left this in his back seat, or like, you guys do that. That's why we always get caught, because you either emotionally invested once you let a man enter in you, and you might be in denial, but you're emotionally invested at that point. So of course you find ways to mess up home. Men don't mess up no woman's home. You can keep her. I know what she's about.
Well, if people just wouldn't cheat on each other, then nobody.
Exactly.
That's it.
Janelle, didn't I start like that? I said, I, the most faithful man on the planet, agree. It's easy. Just have one woman and make sure you like her. When you don't like her, you don't leave. You just go find another vice. Go play your game or something.
Or you can communicate and express.
Or communicate and hope you two could be adult and repair.
Go to therapy.
Or go, yeah, there's many angles of repair, but
right.
Yeah, just don't destruct.
Okay, all right. So let me read this because time is getting dang it, doggone it, time. Okay, so I do have a question for you, but I want to read these comments before I answer this. And one, Miss Maddie said, August told on Jada. So, there go another one for you.
And August is gay. He's gay. He's a woman. He has female tendencies.
Okay, I'm going to. Well, the truth of the matter is, we both have masculine and feminine energy in all of us.
We have energies, but not action.
Balance. That's not. Come on now, but we're energy at the core of who we are, and so it's in both. Both is in us. Okay. So now Miss Sylvia put Western culture on relationships is more different than some other cultures. To me, Western culture is too loose and doesn't involve elders who are experienced. And so that was a comment from Miss Sylvia. So I wanted to read that. Now, Janelle, I want to give you this question, and we just gonna have to bring you back, girl, because I didn't even get through. Shelly just took us on a whole, he took us down a whole rabbit hole. Shelly took us down a whole, we spiraled.
Yeah. Spiraled. I was just taking it in. I didn't even know what to say.
Right. He tends to do that. And that's why I love him. That's why I love it. Love it. Okay. So Miss Maddie asks, what does a healthy relationship look like?
So a healthy relationship looks like good communication. So being able to be emotionally vulnerable, being able to talk about the easy things, but also the hard things. Being able to enjoy each other. So some or 4 mechanisms that I tell people that you always want to just always consistently have in your relationship is you always want to be exploring your partner. So you always want to be getting to know that person. A lot of times we just reserve that for the dating phase, but people change. That's why people grow apart, because you stop asking questions. You stop being curious about your partner. So you always want to be exploring your partner. Next one is you want to always examine your relationship. So you want to be able to see what is the good, what is the bad, what is the ugly, where do we need to improve. Oh, there was like a little bit of a, okay. Yeah, you want to make sure that you guys are keeping your goals at front and center. What is our goal for this year? What is the vision of our relationship? You want to always be, keeping that in mind. Are we hitting our financial goals? Are we hitting our relationship goals? Just always wanting to have some goals in that regard. Next one is experiences. You always want to have experiences with your partner. So that way, what I tell people is you always have something to look forward to, and you always have nostalgia to look back on. And lastly, you want to be able to express yourself. So you want to be able to, like I said earlier, express how you feel in a manner where you feel comfortable and safe. And you want to make sure that there is security and safety in your relationship.
Oh, I love those. I love those. And then you want to have fun in your relationship, because one of our couples, one of our married man on Real Talk, his wife, every so many months I'll let the ladies come on, and like she says, "Oh, I just enjoy annoying aggravating William." That so they have fun, and he is always saying, "Look, I don't care how mad we are. I gotta rub her feet when I go to sleep." So it's just like you gotta find the little fun things, because I also think people get so focused on the life and responsibilities that they don't live and enjoy each other's company. Is that a cat?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm wanting one. I want to get one. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to shoot this one last question, and then we'll bring it in. I think we can get this off real quick.
Okay.
How can couples communicate through conflict without hurting one another or shutting down?
So this goes back to understanding who your partner is. What people tend to do at times, unfortunately, is throw jabs, hit below the belt. You don't want to do that. So a technique that I teach people, especially because we Black, you got to code switch with your partner. So a lot of times people talk to their partners any old kind of way. You don't need to be doing that. You need to code switch. So code stands for you want to always be compassionate. You want to be open-minded and objective. You want to check your delivery, and you want to be empathetic. So if you keep that in mind as you're talking to your partner, you can have a pretty good conversation. But what happens a lot of times is people, again, going back to what we said earlier, they just want to be right. They don't care about they don't care if I hurt your feelings. They don't care about none of that. They don't care about the tone. They don't care about none of that. But all that does at times is just escalate things instead of figuring out how to repair. So that's the simplest way that I can say it. But there could be other issues in a relationship. Again, go to therapy, figure out what some underlying issues, resentments, feelings, and things like that could be overpowering and taking control over a conversation. Because that's what happens. I have to explain to people, you letting the conflict essentially take control over this conversation instead of y'all being in control. So, but you figure that out in therapy.
Therapy. Listen, I know therapy especially in the African American community, we were told Black people don't do that, this, that, and the other. Listen, have the therapy, have the conversation, but is also important. However, it's important that you choose a therapist that's, giving you good advice. Because sometimes some therapists, I've heard stories. In fact, I was on a women's call, a sister circle call the Monday night, and women were sharing their story about domestic violence. Mm-hmm. And some said that they did go to therapists, And then what happened is the man got in and got in the therapist's head. So, and the whole conversation got flipped around on the woman. And so you need an objective, non-biased therapist and someone that's really spirit grounded. You got to have somebody that's grounded and that's gonna really literally look you in your face and say, look, the man or the woman in the mirror, start there first. Because at the end of the day, you got to work on yourself before you can work on the two together.
Yeah, because a lot of times couples come in, they want to do the blame game. You know, well, she did this, she did this. Let's talk about yourself. Let's talk about what you contributed to this situation. Let's talk about you being accountable for your actions. But a lot of times people just want, this person did this, 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 and this. So I got a couple now. For her, she said they've been through a number of couples therapists, and it always ends up being her fault. So I'm like, well, I want to hear both sides. You know, I understand in this situation that he is experiencing deep hurt, but I need to understand what's going on with you too. So that way, again, it's for y'all to be able to understand each other. I got to understand both of y'all. I can't pick sides.
Shelly, I saw you lean up. I got you muted because you.
I want to know, like you guys just said, get with a therapist that's gonna look you in your face and tell you the truth. It maybe the problem is you, right? Boy or girl, whoever. Then you guys just said there were two examples where the person said they went to therapy, and each time the therapist leaned in and said it was the woman's fault. And then so the justification from two women was you got to have a neutral therapist. So no, the therapist was neutral. It was just the woman's fault. So she leaned in and went in on her.
So in this example, it was solely the woman. There was no man.
What if it was solely the woman? That is possible.
From listening with this couple, from hearing both of their stories, they're both contributing to this couple's issue. So I have to hear both sides before I say it is all you.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I was just making a point that
I got you, Shelly.
I know you got me.
Oh, I cannot with him. I cannot with him.
I just know that women that do that a lot. Like if it's a conversation and I'm addressing your issues, instead of us addressing your issues, you flip it around to what I did. We're not talking about me right now. We're on you. Once we get off you, we can
for sure.
Or if it's me first, let's jump on me. Mine, and then we'll jump on you. But you can't be, I tell you what I don't like, and your only reply is what I did last year or last week. Yeah.
For sure. It's all in terms of like what I tell my couples. If a person brings the situation, that person needs to talk about that situation. You're right. What happens is people deflect. They want to flip it on the other person. They want to do this. And now we have steered completely away from the situation at hand. So yeah, to your point, absolutely. But in couples therapy, I got to hear both sides. And then I got to call both of y'all out.
Yeah, because it takes both of y'all to make the problem. I agree with that. It ain't, everybody plays a role. I don't think it matters who played it first. Everybody played their role.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? The key word for that is accountability.
Yes.
Everyone has to take accountability for their actions.
Yes.
All right. This was so good. I knew it would be, Janelle. Thank you so much. Okay, so let us go ahead and bring this in. And I'm going to do this, Shelly. I give us some final words, final comments, thoughts that pop into your head, and also let the people know how they can do business with this hustling man that's seeing the money and just making his way through it. Pull it on in, sir.
I think my only advice would be is when you want to date or be with someone, you have to know, she said, who you're with. So, study your person so you'll know who you with and not who you expect them to be. Because no one's going to be what you expect. We are who we are. You got to find people you like and that are in your lane. and on your level. So, you know, that's that. I always look at you and look at them and if it makes sense. Um, Business wise, real estate, anything real estate. You can reach me at ShellyJSims.com. I just built that website. I just had it built. I didn't build it. I don't know computers, but it's good, professional, lit. Let's get to using it and let's get this done. And then poochpastries.com, I did a cookbook for dogs. So y'all need to go there and order your cookbook for your dogs at poochpastries.com. That's it. And that's all. But real estate, holler at me. I got you. No question. It's too. I hate when people say it wasn't important. Every question is important. So hit me up anytime for any questions. That's it.
Love it. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you, Shelly. I appreciate you. One thing I will say, Shelly has so much knowledge and different point of views, and that's what I like about us. We can agree to disagree, and that's what makes this conversation real. Because if everybody thought the same and felt the same, Janelle, I tell them all the time, boy, I be want to kick you in your kneecap, but from where I'm at. But this is what makes these conversations more valuable because you get different perspectives, whether you agree with them or not. But he brings some good information and good perspectives to the table. So, Shelly, as always, appreciate you. Janelle, girl, I appreciate you. I'm so glad we met. I'm glad you took this opportunity and you waited. You didn't forget about me when I followed up. Are you
Yeah.
ready? So thank you for accepting. So listen, give us some final words and let the people know how they can contact you. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that need your
Right, right.
service.
Well, you can contact me on Instagram or TikTok at the THEE Janelle XOXO. And my final words is relationships don't just happen, they're developed. It takes work, effort, and time.
Love it, love it, love it. So definitely, guys, if you guys need a therapist, you heard her. She dropped some gems tonight. So take heed to the information that came forth. So listen, for those who don't know me, I am Tammy B. I am a coach, a author, a spiritual mentor. So you can go to www.tammyb.com to obtain more information about me. And also for the men, yes, to the men, Saturday, August 1st, Studio House Atlanta. If you want to be in person, that's where we will be for the Pause Breathe Bro You Matter conference. Please help us spread the word. This is mental health. This is a healing space. This is going to be a powerful movement. So help us get the word out. Again, Saturday, August 1st. Let me pull the slide back up to show you guys. And yeah, there it is. So some phenomenal speakers going to be a part of this event. And then women, you have virtual access tickets. They're also available. And everybody, men and women, can get virtual tickets. But for the men, I feel it's just going to be so much more powerful if you are in the room. So again, go to Eventbrite to get your tickets. And then I just want to thank everybody with much love and gratitude. I thank you, Janelle. I thank you, Shelly. I appreciate you so much. And again, everyone, if you're not part of our community, I invite you to subscribe as we are here weekly at 7:30 p.m. Eastern with new content. And for the free 99, I invite you to click on the like or the button and to share this with others. Help us please grow our community because as you see, we have some powerful conversations and we do this on a regular basis. Like, get deep, okay? And next Wednesday is the third Wednesday of the month. So that is our monthly men's only conversation where Shelly will be joined by the other crew from Men Real Talk. So listen, I invite you to come back, bring your questions, bring your comments, because they get real and raw, and that's what this is about. So definitely. And then in closing, again, I can't thank you all enough. And so in closing, I leave you all with this. The most painful thing is losing yourself. in the process of loving someone too much and forgetting that you are special too. And that came from Ernest Hemingway. And words to go with that: love should never require you to lose yourself. While it is beautiful to care deeply for others, do not forget to extend that same love, grace, and compassion to yourself. Your voice, your peace, and your worth matter too. So choose yourself, not out of selfishness, but out of self love and respect. As always, stay amazing, peace, love, and blessings. Good
Mhm.
night.